Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. Moto 3 career mode is continuing here today in round 7 in Mugello, but by goodness, it's raining. So Grant in pole position, Acosta and Massio in the front row, Suzuki, Mino and Alcoba on the second, Garcia, Fenati and Foggia with Antonelli, Guevara and McPhee, Honshu, Yamanaka, Rodrigo, Artigas, Binder and Toba, Nepa, Sasaki, Salat, Rossi, Tatai and Fellon, Koffler, Fernandez, Farad Izdihar, Dupasquier and Yuki Kuni at the back of the grid. We now look to the lights here in round 7 of Mugello for the Italian GP, and away we go! Grant starting in pole position, of course, remember from the last time out, and Le Mans as well. Power setting 1 is only the thing we're going to use here. So into power setting 1, we are going to get absolutely swarmed if we're not careful going into turn 1. But into San Donato for the very first time, up on the inside of Tatsuki Suzuki perhaps. Going to be close. Massi is there as well. Acosta got a great start off the line, but we will try and fight back going around the outside of Massi. That's a great move from Jaume Massi. We shall allow him to get through, and then we'll have the cutback perhaps. Beautifully done. That's 2 perhaps in a couple of seconds. Beautifully done. Up into Poggio second. Give a little bit of a battle there with Jaume Massi. We have fought a lot this season, Jaume Massi and myself, of course, going around the outside of Pedro Acosta now. Beautifully done up into Borgo San Lorenzo. This is what we need to do. We have to be aggressive from the second it starts. We can't afford to be bullied. We cannot afford to be pushed around when in using power setting 1. On the rear of Pedro Acosta in the rain for the very first time. I do believe this is the only rainy race we've had this season so far. So we're going to give it our best shot. But truth be told, it is more harder in the wet with power setting 1 than it is into the dries. I don't know, it doesn't even feel that much of a disadvantage with the power setting 1 in the dry as we line up Pedro Acosta for a wonderful move into Pelagio, but not quite. Brilliantly defensive stuff there from Pedro Acosta, just pushing himself through. He held firm, he did not allow me to get through as we go up into Corantaio. We're going to go for a wider line here to try and get some extra slipstream, but I was saying that in the wet, power setting 1 makes a massive difference. A whole heap of a difference as we have this inside line of BNT2. That is beautiful. Grant into the lead. Brilliant stuff. The Red Bull KTM Io rider did not see that coming, but he's getting closer and closer as we go up into Puccini for the very first time. Only a 10-lap Grand Prix here in this Italian Grand Prix. Odd to see it rain so heavily, but of course it is what it is right now. I'm going to use every single bit of track on this one to try and maintain this lead. Now across the line, we're not even going to hold it across the line. So if this is a rehearsal for the final lap, then we need to do something a lot different and a lot more special. Suzuki's carrying a lot of speed. Andrea Mino's there as well. He has slowly improved so much this season compared to where we started. Qatar, not that great, but here he is battling with the best of them. Jaume Massi there as well as Suzuki gives me the big don't argue and chucks his Honda Squadra 58 bike up into the inside of the Husqvarna man. Oh, getting a little bit out of shape on the rumble strip. Going into Matarasi in a moment's time. We want to be going around the outside of Suzuki if we could do it. Instead, we try and feint for the inside. Let him pull it across the... Oh, we didn't quite have it. I did think about a manoeuvre there, but sometimes you really can't try and plan moves out in MotoGP. The guys are just too strong. And when I say MotoGP, I mean all the classes. These guys are intelligent. Oh, it's a beautiful move into Savelli. A little bit of contact. I really desperately wanted that move into Casanova and Savelli, but Suzuki fought back brilliantly as we sort of lean on the Squadra 58 rider now. He's going a little bit wide here, so we could potentially dive up the inside as we go into Arrabbiata 2. Close to the rear tyre of him. Dunlop's almost touched there then. We're coming up at the inside of Scarperia perhaps. The right foot of Grant comes out. Not quite, but we can have the change of direction up on the left-hand side of Pelagio. We were forced to lift up again. Tatsuki Suzuki really riding smart here. Andrea Mino has moved up into the first place for the first time in this Grand Prix. We get a little bit sideways going into Carantaio there for touching the rumble strip. We need to keep off those rumble strips, especially when it's sodden like this track is right now. And change the direction of BNT2. Oh, shoving Massi out the way. Meet the Husqvarna battering ram. Oh, yes. As we now go into Puccini, turn 15, running a little bit too wide there. Massi, or in fact, Massi took a lot of step backs after that big moment between Grant and himself. Because Ethan Guevara's having a brilliant race so far. He's up into 5th place. He's just currently behind Grant, but I'm going to say behind but not for long, because I'm guessing as we cross the line, he's going to absolutely blitz us. We lost a whole 1.3 seconds to Andrea Mini, who set the fast lap of the race. That is not good at all, as Ethan Guevara is under pressure here from a Spaniard and a very, very competitive British man. And the Englishman doing everything he can to get back ahead of Ethan Guevara. Good stuff there as we now close in on Suzuki and Pedro Acosta and Andrea Mino. Running a little bit wide there for turn 2, but into Poggio Secchio. Someone's gone down. I didn't see a name. I don't see anything. Unfortunately, I'm not alerted to who that is. Hopefully they fix that in a future update, so at least tells us who's gone down. But for the time being, someone went down. I don't know who it was. The only thing we really should know, that it isn't any of our championship rivals from what I can see currently. No sign of Darren Binder up on the left-hand side of your screen there. That's another championship contender, and also Gabriel Rodrigo. I don't see any of those. So right now we will be picking up points against Gemma Masia, McPhee, Binder, etc. The names I've just mentioned. But Suzuki, Acosta, Mino, if these guys build their confidence up, we could have a massive fight for the championship. But of course, we are still in the hot seat right now. We would be carrying that metaphorical red plate if it was MXGP or Monza Energy. But for the time being, we are doing a grand job of chasing down Suzuki, Acosta and Mino. But my biggest concern, of course, is the long straight. How on earth do we contend with these guys when we're stuck on power setting 1? And yes, you could be thinking, well, if I jump up to power setting 3, but no. The rules I made into Le Mans in qualifying session just a couple of days ago, we have to do power setting 1 from now on. Otherwise, it's just too easy, and this is the challenge. This is part of the learning experience, and this is part of the challenge, part of the fun. As we go into Bacchini, I'm really keen to see how it is. So keep an eye on the left-hand side of your screen. The gap currently to Andrea Mino is 1.2 seconds. At the least, it's 1.1. Okay, so they're going across the line now, and that gap is increasing. That gap is increasing a whole heap as we go across the line now. It's a 2:06.871, so that was our best lap of the race, but it's still nowhere near. We have lost almost 0.6 of a second. You could say 5/6 of a tenth of a second there to Tatsuki Suzuki. That is not good at all. John McPhee, I think that is, he's getting really close to the rear of us there. Don't fancy getting close to him. We need to keep off the rumble strips, otherwise we'll end up losing the front there. Goodness me, you can feel the bike slide so much when you touch the rumble strips. Do not touch the rumble strips, ladies and gentlemen. Keep off them. You can sort of touch them if you're going straight, but don't get the wheel sideways on those rumble strips. Otherwise, you will have a bad time. Now, going into Borgo San Lorenzo, we did manage to cut back a good couple of tenths on Andrea Mino ahead of us, but it's still not close enough. That is a much cleaner entry into Casanova, and then we flick it left for Savelli. Little bit wide. We're going to touch the outside of the track there. No limits given. That's good. That's good. Now into the inside of Arrabbiata 1, hugging the apex, holding it wide now for the apex on the outside, to then flick it into Arrabbiata 2 for a nice tight line. Coming towards the rumble strip, then braking for Scarp rear in a moment's time. Beautiful. Not bad. We're still 1.4 seconds to Mino and Co. So this is very difficult. And the problem we have currently is that we don't have any toe. They are using each other's toe as John McPhee gets ever so close to me there. Kind of put me off a bit there. I thought he was going for a lunge. Hopefully he doesn't go for a would-be lunge. Right on cue. John McPhee dives with the inside of Grant, and the Battle of England is on it again. The Battle of Britain, England versus Scotland, is at it again, just like Le Mans. Of course, there's going to be a bitter taste in the mouth of John McPhee, as he felt probably unfairly treated in the last corner and record him on in Le Mans. But for the time being, we're going to be getting closer and closer. Goodness me, Ethan Guevara showed me a wheel and a half there. As we get into the slipstream of John McPhee, you're going to see the difference of how important it is to be in some sort of slipstream going over the line. We are down by 1.8 seconds to the gang in front, so we really need to pull our finger out or just do something special here. That was a slow lap for us. We did lose 0.3 of a second by just being on our own and not having a tow. But we do go around the outside of John McPhee. That is a lot better. Good stuff going into San Donato. With the aid of that slipstream, we got 0.4 of a second already on this lap. So going into Luco, we need to try and take as much power. Oh, a little bit of a slide. Oh, he's gone down! Championship leader down! Oh, I think John McPhee even collided with us. Oh, no! Mugello disaster for Magnificent Grant. Oh, what a mistake. John McPhee is out of the Grand Prix. I don't see him getting back on the motorcycle anytime soon. But Grant is down in 28th place. and has a whopping 20 seconds back from Gabriel Rodrigo, who's also had a tough time this one. 3 of the main championship protagonists, who are currently 1, 2 and 3, have all crashed in this Grand Prix. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? Goodness me! Oh, what a mistake from the championship leader. He has blown the doors well and truly wide open. The bank is now open after the vault has been blown open. Goodness me. Suzuki, Acosta, Mino, this is their moment now. They have to just take it by the hands, get those extra points in and close in on the championship leaders. Who would have expected that? I was desperate to chase down Suzuki and co. What a mistake. I really shouldn't have been pushing. Damage limitations now even more. I knew it was going to be a tough race in the wet. I really felt like this was going to be a challenge for us, especially on the main straight. But now I have succumbed to the pressure and I am even more annoyed than I would have been any other way. I should have accepted the 4th place, but no, ego took over, and unfortunately we're not even going to finish in the points as things stand. 23 seconds back to Tatsuki Suzuki, and bear in mind, like, oh no! Jesus, heads in hand again. I don't know if my throat can take any more shouting in this one. Oh my god. But I tell you what, guys, without any bit of toe, this is going to be practically impossible to catch them. It is going to be so difficult. We're going to do what we can. I'm going to bump it up to power setting 3, and hopefully we can chase them down and see how things go. But honestly, I did say the other day in the videos I would only use power setting 3 or 2 if I really needed it. And considering we're probably not going to get any points here anyway, we might as well jump into power setting 3 and really see the difference of how much power setting 3 will help in the wet. Because the wet is a whole new beast, it really is. And I love riding in the wet on older games such as MotoGP 20 and even in Ride 4. And I still love it in MotoGP, but I'm not familiar with it yet. From what I've experienced, like this race as well and some of the other qualifying sessions, I do really like riding in the wet because it feels hard, it feels difficult, and it feels like you're going to slip. But this is the actual first race where I'm going to complete all in the wet, and it has been an absolute disaster, and I am pleased. I know that sounds so silly, but I love a challenge. I love to be challenged. I love to be really pushed in this game, and I'm pleased to say that we are going to be pushed right here today. But we are up by 0.7 of a second on our fastest lap, so we might actually set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, which is more than damage limitations, but at the same time it doesn't actually give us any points, so I guess we shouldn't really be messing around with that. But I want to try and keep that gap with underneath 20 seconds as Gabriel Rodrigo made a move on Ricardo Rossi. And I've just realised as well, Dennis Foggia was in 25th then, just briefly, as Adrian Fernandez is now pushed back down 25th. So even Dennis Foggia, who is technically a championship protagonist this season, is even having a terrible race. What on earth has gone on? I mean, the cream hasn't rise to the top on this one, but you could say it has with Tatsuki Suzuki and Acosta and Mino. And I think as it looks on the graphic in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, it looks like Acosta and Mino have lost touch with Tatsuki Suzuki, which is incredible. Is Tatsuki Suzuki going to do it here for the Marco Simoncelli team right here in Mugello? You know what, that's a brilliant story. I won't even be mad that I crashed out if that happens. But look at the difference in the top right corner of your screen there. This, by having power setting 3, we are gaining tenths after tenths after tenths on a lap time. We set the fast lap of the Grand Prix with a 2:05.554, a whole 1 and a bit seconds faster than our setting on power with our laps on power setting 1. That is unbelievable. I'm going to say it, but at the same time, this is kind of sour. It's a good thing that John McPhee crashed and Gabriel Rodrigo did, because of course otherwise we'd be losing quite a chunky amount of championship lead here. But at the same time, I'm not too mad about it because, and I'm not too grateful about it because I know we can still win. We've still got a lot of tracks I love and adore. We've got Catalonia next, Sachsenring, a very difficult track for me, but I still quite enjoy it. Assen coming up as well. Oh, I love Assen. One of my favourites of all time. And then we'll be going home to Britain. So we've got great tracks here, and I'm still feeling extremely confident. The one that I am concerned about for the season is the Kimi Ring, because I know nothing about the Kimi Ring. I've tried it a couple of times in MotoGP 20, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. I don't like that track. It does nothing for me. but we'll see how things go as we go a little bit wide there. That's a track limit warning number 2, already on 1 lap, so I think we need to leave these laps alone, stop pushing and just sort of accept our position. We're still 20 seconds behind, 11.5 seconds behind Riccardo Rossi. It really shows how much the bike retrieval takes time off you. It took a whole 20 seconds and a bit more. I guess that's realistic, but we need the AI to have that in pronto, because it kind of sucks when we lose so much time as we get another track limit warning there, goodness me. But we lost so much time to the AI there and we can't really do anything about it. And I don't want to turn it off because it kind of ruins... It's kind of cheating at this point because it's in the game and it's meant to be used. But we'll see. But being down 11 seconds is not good. I do apologise to you guys for not giving you the best content possible in this particular video. But at the same time, this is a long season and I'd be doing... Well, I wouldn't be honest if I just restarted this race and tried to do it again. I'm trying to keep it completely honest and completely fair and legitimate for you guys to watch and enjoy. Don't want to do any restarts and stuff like that. I'm trying to just do it all one goes so we can really experience the true championship, and it'll just feel that much sweeter if we do end up winning it that way. Like the John McPhee and Grant battle in Le Mans was, to me, probably my most favourite race of all time in any MotoGP game. That was incredible for me, chasing John McPhee down with power setting 1, really facing adversity, and we came through smelling of roses. It was absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did too as well. I'm sure the feedback at this point was going to be pretty good. But let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed it, and let me know as well how you feel about watching the rest of this video even though there's no points on offer. Is it still enjoyable? Is it going to be a bit annoying as we get close? Oh, goodness me. The championship leader goes down a second time in this Grand Prix. Absolutely crestfallen. There's going to be an absolute forlorn figure as he tries to pick up that Husqvarna. If it even works, I think it does. It still lives. I don't think that bike has ever stopped working. It's done such a grand job. I wouldn't even want to know where we are now. 46 seconds behind. Oh my goodness. 47, 48 seconds behind, going up to 49. What an embarrassment. 2.5 laps remaining. A very damaged Husqvarna and a very damaged mentally and egotistical Grant, who is unfortunately will have his head in the hands. I can see Max Biaggi in the paddock right now. He is livid. He's left the crew. He's left the pit, and there's just a lot of crestfallen faces, disconsolate looks in the pit garage for the Husqvarna team. I don't even think we're going to get any points. I don't know where Romano Fenati is currently, but Adrian Fernandez is only 1 position ahead of me, and I've crashed twice, so Adrian's not really getting us any extra points. Romano, it's down to him. The team championship is absolutely impossible for us anyway, because unfortunately our teammates don't really hold their own. But at the same time, this Husqvarna is a bit of a challenge compared to some of the other bikes. But I'm still enjoying it very much. I do love the Husqvarna. But yeah, our teammates are just not having the same amount of success as we are. So across the line, of course, that is an abysmal lap. That's a 2:33, which was even worse than the 2:28 we had earlier when we crashed into turn 2 for Luco. Now going into San Donato on the penultimate lap. I guess it doesn't really matter for us, but also at the same time, I haven't seen much chopping and changing. Suzuki, Acosta and Mino seem to be the same 3 that has been for quite a while, as we go into Luco a little bit safer this time. Now onto the right hand side for Poggio Secco. Getting closer and closer to the rumble strip as we exit there. Good exit. I like that one, just kissing the rumble strip. Now braking into Materassi for turn 4. Get onto the left hand side, get them ready to flick over to Borgo San Lorenzo. Get on the rumble strip or close enough to if you want to on the exit there. Then braking into Casanova for the right hand side. A little bit of a slide there as well, then flick it to the left for Savelli. Much better this time. We're on power setting 3 again. We do have some fuel to burn. Let's not go too close to the inside Arrabbiata 1 this time. Thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't have to shout again. And now going into the right hand side for Arrabbiata 2. And near enough to the rumble strip. Suzuki, Mino, Acosta. So it looks like Mino and Acosta are trying to win second place. But right now, that's all they can fight for. Bridesmaid is the only one they can fight for today as the groom is going to be winning this one. It will be Suzuki-san.
He'll have one more lap to navigate. I think he has crossed the line. He's actually going to go into Bacchini now for the final time of asking. I can just see in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen there. It was, oh my goodness, we just touched the outside of the long lap penalty there, and we got ourselves another track limit warning. I really don't fancy getting a long lap penalty because it's bad enough as it is. Finishing 28th, which is practically dead last since John McPhee is actually no longer on his Petronas Sprinter Honda. I guess that would just be right icing on the cake, wouldn't it be? It would be absolutely bloody awful, let me tell you, if we had a long lap penalty on this one. So Suzuki's got quite a lead now on Pedro Acosta and Andrea Mino. Those two are just battling all the time. They're not helping each other. They probably should have tried to work together. But it is now the final lap for Grant. The very, very disappointed man is going to be crossing the line in 28th place no matter what happens now, unless some people crash in front of us. But I very much doubt that it's going to change anything unless 20 other riders end up crashing. We can have a chance in the points, but for now, we're going to have to just accept it. You know, this has been a tough race for us. We accept it. We'll move on to the next round in Catalonia, and we'll hold our head up high and just focus on the next one. The wet race has been difficult for us. The rain is another challenge that we have not yet to conquer. But in the meantime, the career and the championship is long. We have a bright future ahead of us, and I'm not concerned, and neither should you guys be as well. We're going to be absolutely fine and dandy. Tatsuki Suzuki has quite a comfortable lead now. We're into Cervelli, so we are absolutely nowhere near. We might be able to see them across the rise there, but there's a little bit of a hill in the way. I can certainly hear the bikes fighting on the right-hand side there, but unfortunately we can't see anything. So Suzuki is into Bacchini for the very final time. He has a pretty comfortable gap there. He's going to be crossing the line any moments now. Elation for the SICK 58 Squadra team. Marco Simoncelli will be very pleased with that one. And guys, I guess for them that is absolute elation. As Mino, oh, Acosta beat him on the line, I think. I don't know whether that changed after the line, I'm not sure. It's been a while since we've been this far behind once the race is completed. But I do believe Acosta just pipped Mino right on the line. And we're obviously still messing around with Biandetti 1 and 2. So we're not really worth talking about right now, but we still have to finish this Grand Prix. At least we're going to finish. I guess that's one positive. We finished the Grand Prix. We were still able to continue. We've gained some valuable information. We were still able to take the fast lap of the race. But ultimately, our confidence has been tarnished. But we will do our best to return in Catalonia and be a bit more successful next time. So fingers crossed, guys, we can make it a little bit better next time. Disappointment for Grant. So there are your results. Suzuki wins by 3.1 seconds over Andrea Mino and Pedro Acosta. Darren Binder took 4th place and Jan Masia 5th, so that's some good points for those guys there. No points for the championship leader. So championship leader is still Grant for now. He's up by 23 points over Gabriel Rodrigo, who finished out of the points, and the same for John McPhee. But Darren Binder and Suzuki and Gian Masia winning with extra points. So finally we'll look at the team standing. Petronas Sprinter Racing Team now up by 30 points to the Red Bull KTM IO team. Team Gresini Moto3 move up to 3rd place, and Cyril Garda Max Racing drop 2 positions and now 40 points behind. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.